Alrighty guys, welcome back to Ether Bandit's Garage. Today, we're going to be playing with this here John Deere CS52 chainsaw. So I traded a little bit of work for this saw from my buddy, Texas Keykeeper. Y'all should go check him out on the tubes. He had this saw for a while, and it just quit running, and he really couldn't find parts, or I don't know what the whole story was, but ended up just not messing with it. This is your air filter. We're gonna do a little bit of a revival on this. I think I'm gonna be able to. I want to try to get it to run with the way it is currently. He thinks it needs a new jug, which is very possible. I question if the carb isn't dirty, but the first thing I want to do is clean it up. It is loose, and it does seem to have compression. Like, it's not like like this saw, whenever you pick it up, it'll pull itself down on the compression, which I guess this one is lighter, and it does slowly. But that doesn't seem like it'd be bad compression to me. First thing I do is I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to blow it out. Probably take this carburetor apart. I probably need to dump all the bad gas out. And, but I just wanted to get a baseline for what it started as to where it's going. So these are actually remarkably similar. Or these were made by FCO, which if you look up a FCO 952, coincidentally, it is this exact same chainsaw, only orange. And this one's green. My favorite color is green, even better for me. You really can't find parts for a Deere CS52, but if you look up FCO 952, you can find parts. And I think actually it's like Old Mac or something is another saw that is like almost identical to this one that you really can find parts for. The FCOs are still kind of hard to find parts, but the Old Mac, or I'll have to look at what it was. That is what really made me realize that you could still find parts, find parts easily. But well, I'll get to cleaning on this, and we'll get back to you in a little bit. All right, welcome back. So, got her cleaned up. It's not as good as I'd like it to be, but it's a whole lot better than it was. I don't have the 4 screws that hold this cover on. The air filter housing, which I didn't clean that yet. I got this a whole lot cleaner. I was just trying to get it to trying to prime it. I put some fresh gas in it. I broke the primer bulb, which I thought I might have one somewhere. I can't find it, so I'm just gonna have to get some new ones. I'm pretty sure this carb is toast, and I'm really kind of curious to pull the cylinder off. I haven't quite decided yet, but I basically just need to order some parts. So we'll get back to y'all whenever I get some parts. Alrighty guys, so we got our new carburetor. After much waiting, I got our primer bulb, a new carburetor, which is here. There's the old one. Very straightforward to take off. You have a screw here, a screw here, and then these 2 nuts. And this piece comes off. So you got to pop out the 2 wires for the kill switch. And then you got to remember to hook your choke back up, which it goes in this little slot. Very simple to do. and then your throttle, which that's easy. All you have to do is you pull it throttle wide open, hold this piece right here, and then let go of the throttle and pop that piece out, and that's your throttle. And which just fell. But now, oh, and you got to make sure these, you can't really confuse which line goes where, because this is there's 3 lines that go into it. This is a vent. This is a return, and this is the supply. Very straightforward. So we're gonna put this stuff back in and see if it'll fire. So I put the carb on. I pulled it a couple times. I had it cranked off the old carb, which makes me think that carb's fine. I heard a rumor that it needed a new jug, so I have a jug. I'm just gonna go ahead and swap it. I'm not gonna wear myself cranking on it. Something to know whenever you're changing a jug is that there's 2 bolts for this muffler cover. It sits like that, and you have to take this part of the muffler off to get to the inside of the muffler to find that hole, or that screw. We're gonna take that out and catch up with you in a second. So I don't think we're gonna have to pull the carburetor off again, because if you look, we can just undo that little clamp, pop that intake off. You take your kill wire off there, take this screw loose on the coil, and then just unscrew that other one on the coil, take your spark plug loose. There's your coil, which we're gonna eyeball. I don't know what the gap's supposed to be, we're just gonna eyeball it. Here's your kill switch wires. Now we just are left with the intake and this little spring tension mount and the 4 screws that hold the jug down. Once we take that off, it should all come off pretty easily. Which I'm pretty sure with this little clamp fitting, you can just take you a pair of pliers, like so, and I need a better pair of pliers, but y'all get the idea. We'll be back. So likely found the issue here. I'd say it either got too hot or something somehow got run through right. I'm gonna say it got hot. Pistons all scored up. I mean, I had it running, which maybe that's because the previous Texas Keykeepers, this is his saw, he had dumped a bunch of oil in there and it bumped the compression up, which as you noticed all the oil in that muffler. That's maybe what did it, which, I mean, from the looks of it, I would say she's done. Which, the thing is though, is this jug looks actually pretty good. Like there's no big gashes in it. Sorry about the flashing. There still is some crosshatch, but we're just gonna go ahead and use my new jug. I didn't get a new pressure or pop-out pressure or relief valve, but I'm just gonna weld it shut. I had one on my 288 and I hated it, and I welded it shut and it's just fine. We are going to have to RTV the gasket here because this one broke. I was hoping to reuse it, but it is what it is. So we'll just RTV it, bump compression up some more. It ought to be fun. But yeah, we'll get back whenever we're putting this thing back together again. So upon further review, I'm not using this new jug. The ports are absolutely tiny compared to this one. I mean, you can see even in the casting, it bulges out there on the side. If you look at this one, it's flat. So if you take your piston, my new piston, which is this one right here, and you drop it in there, you can tell whenever it gets past those ports, without even rings, it slows down. So I'm just gonna put the new rings on this one in my old jug. We're gonna send it on down the highway. because that is just ridiculous how small those ports are compared to these. I was gonna use the new one, but then I got to look and I'm like, no, there ain't no way. So, let me get this cleaned up. We'll be right back. Okay, so I got all this cleaned up. Got a little bit of oil in the cylinder, not a whole lot, so it doesn't run down on my RTV. I'm using Permatex The Right Stuff. Very good for 4-stroke stuff. Like, that's the only RTV I will use. We're gonna find out how this works on this, because I did the same thing on my 288 XP Husqvarna and it didn't work as well. But I've also done it on my 038 and it worked on that. Basically, that's what we have tonight, and that's what I'm gonna use. Put the new piston on, and now when I have everything clean, now we're just going to try to gently not get too much RTV everywhere, and put that on here, and yeah, so we'll let y'all know how that goes. So as you can tell, I did get this little John Deere saw running. Didn't really get too much else. Y'all seen what's been filmed. But I got it running, put it on the shelf and forgot about it, and didn't have a chain for it. Finally got me a chain today, and I been cutting a little bit of firewood, and I mean, I can't call myself a chainsaw expert or whatever, but I mean, I've ran more than one saw in my life. Like, I think this compares to like Stihl's MS271, except I think this one's lighter, and I honestly kind of wonder if it don't have more power. They both use the same 325 pitch chain, but this saw pulls. And this isn't even a full chisel. This is a semi chisel. So I'm really curious to toss a full chisel on there and see what will happen. Saw has gobs of power. I mean, I'm cutting live oak. That's not soft wood. Which even this is like a early 2000s and a 271 is like brand new. And it leaves MS250 in the dust. Just personal opinions here, but I got it together. It runs really good. I do need to turn the idle up, I think, but other than that, I'm a huge fan. But a little sneak peek of something coming up. Alrighty. Y'all don't have too much fun. We'll catch y'all next time.